Hello, everybody. My name is Luke, and I'm our North America editor here at Global Water Intelligence. We're a publishing company that focuses on the water sector. And I'm here today to talk through a new product that we've launched in collaboration with Water Environment Federation. That's called Water Investment Navigator. I've just navigated to the home screen here, but essentially what the platform does is it tells you what utilities are building, the projects they're pursuing, but also what they're talking about in their meetings, the kind of contracts they're awarding, the kind of issues that they're discussing, and finally also how they're looking to fund projects, whether that's through sort of state revolving funds or municipal bonds. We provide structured data that essentially tells you the sort of investments that are happening on the ground on a day-to-day level. So WIN's updated daily. We cover information for just under 6,000 utilities. That equates to around 50,000 projects. And you can see on the left-hand side here, we have our latest stream of resources flowing into the platform. So we have meeting coverage, we have capital investment plans flowing in. We also have our meeting takeaway section. So our AI reporter is attending meetings and reporting back on exactly what utilities are discussing. And with all resources, I can click into a specific meeting that I'm interested in, and it will take me to a detail screen where I can sort of see exactly what happened at this meeting. I can always navigate to the original source file, so everything's completely transparent and open. I can see our AI reporter has given a brief update as to what was discussed at this meeting. And then with every meeting, we can see a list of contract awards, contract amendments, presentations, or project updates that were given at this specific meeting. I can click through. This was a specific update given on an issue that a lot of Californian utilities are facing. I can see straight away I get information about what this decision entails. I get a nice description that informs me what was discussed, what was the key topics. I can link to the original decisions, the additional resources that are linked to this decision. Also, I can see the companies that have been mentioned as part of this decision. I can also navigate back to the original source documents, so I can always see where this particular decision has come from. And with this specific piece of information that we've got from this meeting, we also have a transcript available, so you can navigate in and see exactly how we've come to visualize this decision in our database. So these decisions are flowing into the platform every day, pretty much. A lot of them are updates, presentations, utilities deciding on how they're going to navigate specific challenges. But a lot of them are contract awards, and that's the sort of next piece where WIN becomes very useful, because contract awards happen every day at board meetings or committee meetings, but it's very hard to stay on top of exactly who's winning work and for what reasons. So I've just navigated to our meetings tab over here, and here I can filter by utility, by company, by technology or decision type. So if I wanted to, I could navigate to contract awards. We have roughly 14,000 contract awards across the Water Investment Navigator platform. And you can see here, we always list the value of the contract award, the specific company involved, and also when the contract award was made. Now, we have all sorts of values. We don't limit in terms of the value of contract awards. But what you can do with every decision is you can click through. You can see exactly why the contract award was awarded, who the contract awarded was to, and then I can click on a specific company's profile. So, for example, here I can see AECOM had an unsuccessful bid for engineering services. I can see that the same was true with this company. I can click through to a company's profile I'm interested in, and here is where sort of WIN comes into its own. So I can see straight away all of the decisions related to a specific company, the value of contract awards that we've sort of collected for this company, a quick look at 12-month activity, and then we also sort of plot out the relationships between the specific company and their municipal clients. So this is essentially a graphic showing a list of all of the relationships that we've established between this particular company and the sort of utilities that are pursuing projects. I can have a look at all its particular work, all of the projects that this company is related to. I can filter by design. So maybe I want to see sort of design contract awards. I can click and I can see very quickly, I get a nice list of all of the most recent contract awards by dollar value. And this also works from a utility perspective. So I can navigate and click on a specific utility profile, and that will show me all of the companies the utility works with. So for Houston, I can see these are the sort of the top construction companies and owner engineers that are related. I can also see a list of all of the decisions that have been taken, a list of all the projects the utility is carrying out. And the project coverage is sort of what I wanted to go on to next, because WIN collects project information from a huge number of utilities across the United States. We extract projects from their budgets and CIPs. And what we do is we connect the dots between decisions and projects, so you can work out in real time what parts of a CIP are being contracted out in real time. So for example, I can click on a project that's happening in Houston. It will take me to a nice page where I can see a 5-year spending outlook, a brief project description, funding source information, any historical records we have for this particular project. And if I navigate to bids and decisions, I can see a decision timeline related to this project. So I can see all of the times that this particular project has been mentioned at Houston's meetings. And then we have any linked bids, so anything out to tender related to this particular project. So essentially, WIN is about capturing the life cycle of a project from the point at which an issue or challenge was first raised at a meeting, through to when a project becomes a line item in a budget or a capital plan, and then also sort of finally when design services, construction services, equipment is tendered out to the market. So it's a kind of end-to-end solution that lets you really keep track and hone in on the clients that are most interesting for you. I can just sort of confirm that this is relevant. I can click on a specific decision. This was some rehabilitation at East Water Purification Plant, and I can see exactly the construction contractor awarded. So again, everything's linkable, everything's nicely tied together, so you can get a real strong grip of the companies and their relationships with utilities and projects. And again, just like decisions, if I wanted to search for projects on a national level, we have around 50,000 CIP projects that you can see. You can filter by sub-application, by technology, by region. So if I just wanted to see projects that reference, let's say, pumps and RO in the sort of wastewater treatment, advanced treatment and reuse sector, I can see, I get a really nice view there. I can click on a project and I can see, I get to that detailed spending view. Everything's downloadable as a sort of CSV, so I can export data to my own CRM or my own sort of data platforms. And then also what I can do is if I want to stay on top of this data via an email briefing, I can set specific saved filters. So for example, I'm watching Biosolids contract awards here, and I'm also watching everything related to Black and Veatch. I can navigate to my weekly briefing, and it will show me all of the items I might expect from my specific filters for that past 7 days. I can load a preview, and this will be the specific email I receive every Thursday evening that tells me a list of all of the contract awards, all of the decisions I'm interested in. And it's just a really, really simple and handy way to stay on top of what's happening in your specific region, in your specific market. I think the final thing I just want to show, on an aggregate level, we have some really great charts and maps that show capital spending by state. So if you're more of an analyst and you want to size specific markets, specific growth opportunities, you can definitely do that by looking at our project data on an aggregate level. You can see how spending trends change from year to year, export everything. There's a presentation, an image, or an Excel file. So that's super useful. And then finally, we also have an ask feature, like most sort of software these days that you interact with online. We have an agent that has access to all of the data on the platform. so I can query the database and get information that matches my own sort of interests without using deterministic filters. So I can ask a question like, what are utilities saying about PFAS treatment? I could generate a PDF report. I think we want to be quick here, so I'm just going to ask it a simple question. It will search our database. It's searching our meeting coverage, searching our source documents and our capital project database, and it should give me a nice roundup of exactly what's being said about PFAS treatment at the moment. You can see it's just writing its response. This is still in a beta mode, but we're very happy with the early results, so we're rolling it out. You can see here I get a nice answer regarding specific trends in terms of PFAS treatment across the US. I could do the same for funding sources. What are utilities saying about WIFIA or SRF loans? I could do the same for technologies. I can track sentiment about particular contractors. Give me a list of contractors that are underperforming, and it will draw in the information from the meetings and show me in a really simple message. So you get around 30 queries a month, but we're very flexible in terms of giving extra credit when needed. So this is the Water Investment Navigator platform. I hope I've captured everything well. This is still in early stages. This product's been launched for around 3 months now, but we've had some really good feedback so far from a range of customers. We're really looking forward to talking more about how you can use this solution yourselves. So thanks very much, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.